desk managers that he's wanted for burglary out of the Cerritos area of Los Angeles, or of LA County. LA County sheriffs handle the Cerritos area, and it started down in that area. And like I said, CHP, or actually LA County Sheriffs, has canceled their ground pursuit due to the weather and speed. And right now you see we're going through the large buildings here in downtown. We'll pick him up when he pops out. There he is. And just kind of working his way along. So they're going to stick with him with the air unit overhead. LAPD is monitoring, keeping an eye on this pursuit, as well as top tried to come open there for a second. And you can see just kind of moving along here, really in traffic, number 1 lane. And like I said, the sheriff's helicopter will stay with him, given the location, and then hopefully be able to get this guy to go to ground, and the units will be on him really quickly. But working our way, coming up to about 4th Street here on the northbound 110 freeway. Continuing now, northbound 110, approaching the 101 freeway will be the next major, or next freeway he comes to. TV5 is approaching the 4 level at 1700, slow moving northbound. And the roof keeps popping. Looks like there's 2 people in there. I get the one guy on the right side. 3 suspects in here, I understand, from my photog Chris Haug has been monitoring the police frequencies for me. And he's coming to a stop here by the Gore Point. Now this will pick up the South 101 if he stays there. 5's holding just north of the 4 level. And see where he goes, if he kind of stays there, or I don't know why he's dropping the roof here. Even though it's raining in Los Angeles, he's going to drop his roof and then get ready to go here. It's going to be one of those pursuits where they start acting silly here with standing out, looking out, and trying to figure out what's going on. But I don't know what his deal is here. But he's on the ramp for the, let's see here, the North 101 is where he's at right now. Yeah, we're only seeing 2 suspects right now. And he's on the ramp, and he's looking around for ground cars, I bet, is what he's doing. There's a CHP car trying to work its way up the ramp behind him. An SUV coming up. I don't know if it's CHP or LAPD, but there's 2 SUVs coming out. It looks like CHP coming up here, working their way up. He's in the transition for the northbound 101 right at the 110 here. He's stuck in traffic. The CHP officers are about 4 cars behind him. Coming up in their SUVs. They'll be in behind him in just a second here. And you'll see this guy, you'll see the SUV coming up on the right shoulder as I'm holding my position here at the interchange, waiting for him to make his way through and popping under. This is the 4 level, for you folks familiar with downtown Los Angeles. 4 levels of freeway go over right here is how it got its name. And it's one of the more iconic interchanges here in Los Angeles. There he is.
Here we go. Taking over, we're going on the 110 on the Hollywood Freeway northbound. Pursuit now on the Hollywood Freeway northbound. Officially a pursuit now, guys. Officially a pursuit. LAP or California Highway Patrol trying to pull this vehicle over, and they have a failure to yield. You'll see a couple of the units right behind CHP. They're not going to mess around. They're going to do everything they can to pull this vehicle over north on the Hollywood Freeway, just past the 4-level interchange, coming into the Silver Lake area. Got eyes on him, Pollard? They're talking about the weather conditions right now on the Hollywood Freeway here in downtown Los Angeles. We are seeing some rain. The roadways are slick. That creates dangerous situations for a pursuit as we come into the Silver Lake area, north on the 101 freeway, approaching Glendale Avenue. Okay, Silver Lake, tell me when to self-intro. Just tell me when. And I'm Megan Reyes in News Chopper 4. We're following now a pursuit that originated out of the LA County Sheriff's Cerritos Division. These are alleged burglary suspects. Now, earlier we were covering this when it was in a tracking mode. This is what we know right now. LA County, or actually the California Highway Patrol, attempted to pull this vehicle over along the 110 freeway northbound approaching the Hollywood freeway. Once they initiated that traffic stop, the vehicle took off at a high rate of speeds. You can see California Highway Patrol right behind that vehicle. They are in a pursuit following these burglary suspects out of the Cerritos area. Now, this pursuit started about 30 minutes ago out of the Cerritos area of the LA County Sheriff's Department. We don't understand the nature, whether it was they were following some of these individuals, but we know these are alleged burglary suspects. LA County Sheriff's tried to do a traffic stop, we understand. The vehicle took off and they went in a tracking mode. They go in a tracking mode in situations like this because they see the situation can be a little dangerous. We do have some weather coming into the Southland, so with slick roadways, they felt it was better to have the helicopter follow these individuals rather than the police vehicles. Went into downtown Los Angeles, north on the 710, into downtown from that point, traveling along surface streets at a high rate of speed. LAPD was aware of it. They did not get involved in the pursuit. You can see we're picking up speeds right now. We're approaching Silver Lake Boulevard on the 101 freeway, and it's as if these people are just taunting officers, acting like knuckleheads on that northbound side of the Hollywood freeway. No excuse for that, putting a lot of people's lives at danger. Earlier, they were making an evasive maneuver on the 110 northbound where they went along the right shoulder at a high rate of speed, and there were two vehicles that were parked off to the right shoulder. It was very narrow, missing one of those parked cars. As an example right here, going along the right shoulder, there we go, just crashed into that vehicle. That's most likely due to the slick roadways out there. You saw him slide into that vehicle, crash into that car on the 101 freeway northbound. That accident happened right around Silver Lake Boulevard. LAPD is aware of this pursuit. It's coming up into the jurisdiction area of LA, and California Highway Patrol is following this vehicle. Pursuit again originated out of the Cerritos area. This is on the Hollywood freeway northbound, passing Silver Lake Boulevard. CHP behind right now, and you can see this is a dangerous pursuit, not because of high rate of speeds, because of the weather. Slick roads down there. No, it's not smart driving like this in the center divider. You can see tracking there, that water there, possible chance of hydroplaning, which could cause this person to crash. Unfortunately, we're continuing this pursuit. This is just crossing over Vermont. I believe that is Vermont on the northbound side of the Hollywood freeway. We've got CHP following this vehicle. Here we go, slowing down again, narrowly clipping that vehicle. People are just driving erratically. This is on the Hollywood freeway northbound. A pursuit here. California Highway Patrol not too far behind, trying to pull this vehicle over. You can see we're just passing the Melrose exit following this pursuit along the Hollywood freeway coming into the Hollywood area. LAPD Hollywood Division is aware of the pursuit. If it comes onto surface streets in this particular area, they can assist the CHP, and most likely the CHP will hand it off to LAPD, whether or not if they choose to actually take the pursuit. Hollywood Freeway northbound approaching Santa Monica Boulevard. There are two individuals in this Mustang. It's a blue Mustang. The convertible top was up earlier. They put the convertible top now. Put the convertible top down as if they were taunting individuals, taunting law enforcement officials. They were hanging out of the vehicle at times, doing things that are not safe, traveling along the right shoulder right now. And again, these guys are just out there playing this game. That's what it is to them. Hollywood Freeway northbound, just passing Santa Monica Boulevard, approaching Sunset next. Very dangerous pursuit here along slick roadways along the Hollywood Freeway north on the 101. We are monitoring this pursuit originating out of the Cerritos station from the LA County Sheriff's Department. These are alleged burglary suspects traveling at a high rate of speed. You can see they're just joking around. We may have 3 individuals in there. That was the original report. Let's go ahead and slow down News Chopper 4. We're going to pull back here a little and get you a glimpse of these individuals here. We have 2 males in there, possibly 3. That was the original report. Hollywood Freeway northbound side as we come up on the Sunset exit. exit. We're slowing down News Chopper 4 to try to get you a better shot of these individuals. But as I zoom in, you can see there's sometimes just they were hanging outside the vehicle right now. The passenger appears to be on the phone. You can see the driver moving around erratically, refusing to pull over for the CHP. This pursuit now approaching Sunset here on the northbound side of the 101 freeway. Let's still slow down News Chopper 4 a little so we don't get on top of it. Coming up on Sunset, let's see what happens at this point here. That's the LA County Sheriff helicopter following this pursuit north on the 101 freeway.
Taking an off ramp here. And this is looking like Sunset is where he's getting off at, I believe. And he's getting off the freeway here. We'll get you a street. If I look out, kind of, yeah, maybe, anyway, wrong side of the street now, coming back to the east and holding over the 101 freeway, stopping, making a U-turn. So he's obviously lost, spinning out right there, just spinning out off top. Just now he's just goofing off. Doing donuts in the middle of the 101 freeway over.
And here we go. You can see him doing donuts here, doing donuts on the middle of Hollywood Boulevard, crossing over the 101 freeway. These guys just need to be stopped right now. This is absolutely ridiculous. I have not seen anything like this covering pursuits. Just, you know, this is a situation where they are taunting law enforcement officials, getting off the freeway and doing donuts and putting everybody at danger in this particular area. Now traffic is almost at a stop here because vehicles are exiting off the Hollywood freeway. We may be getting back onto the freeway, and we're staying along Hollywood Boulevard. This is a pursuit out of the Cerritos LA County Sheriff's Division. 2 alleged burglary suspects driving erratically on the streets of Hollywood. Only a matter of time whether or not LAPD is going to get involved, but this is a dangerous pursuit that's putting a lot of people's lives at risk right now, considering the way they are driving. We've already seen 1 accident along the 110 freeway in downtown LA. Now we're on Hollywood Boulevard, traveling westbound, coming into, no doubt, a very busy Hollywood Boulevard. You can see these individuals right now doing some more donuts. This is what they were doing. They're taunting law enforcement officers. They know law enforcement officers are trying to pull them over, but they are just acting erratically.
Oh, wow. We're just learning that this is really close near the Hollywood Walk of Fame here. So this is a very, very full of tourists. And
there's the Walk
of Fame right there.
And, you know, scary situation because a lot of tourists, even on a rainy day, if you come to L.A., you're going to go there despite rain or shine. You know, you're going to want to see it.
Absolutely.
And, fortunately, it seems like the traffic is pretty light, though, for a Thursday afternoon around.
I'll let him pop out of this building here, 0. I'm sliding it over. 5's going to slide just a little bit north here. And live truck westbound on Hollywood. There's a pursuit coming up right behind you. Blue. Okay. Got it.
Enforcement as they drive past a news van from another station. Where is law enforcement? How far back are the officers?
I'm going to pull back a little. I don't see any officers. I don't want to lose this vehicle, but I believe the CHP actually may be, not the CHP, the LAPD. We just really passed the LAPD Hollywood station, so we're in the vicinity. I'm waiting for, there we go, right there, LAPD. There you go, guys. Now they're going to take over this pursuit. Hopefully they will take over this pursuit and see what they can do to try to stop it.
Now they're boxed in.
Well, they're boxed in, but you know what? That hasn't stopped them before, Fred. Unfortunately, they made some erratic moves.
And
that
they're going
LAPD
on the other
unit,
side of the street.
Yeah, wrong side of the road here on the 101 or on the Hollywood Boulevard. I'm trying to listen to pedestrian right over there.
Right there.
You can see just not stopping for anybody coming into the intersection. We already saw one accident on the Hollywood freeway, another accident along the 110. So these guys are going to do whatever it takes to get away from officers. And it's really not like they're trying to get away from them. They're just taunting them. They want to see how long this is going to continue. Busy Hollywood Boulevard. We should be coming up on Hollywood and Highland here in a moment, and that's where we always have a lot of congestion.
Well, now they're going to go into the wrong lane again and then cut back.
Cross right there, that's going to be Highland. Highland extremely busy out here. And you know, these wet roads, these other people, they have no idea what's going on. There we go, LAPD, that 06 on the back there, that's going to be Hollywood Division. These guys continue to showboat out here. It's starting to rain. See another officer right there. So the officers are behind them, and I'm hearing now officially pursuit has re-engaged. LAPD involved in this pursuit. Now, you got to think also, these guys moving a little bit slower right now. Officers from LAPD, they are dealing with these same type of situations. Wet roads, other drivers out here, people a little bit panicked. You got, they're dealing with the rain, and then, then you throw in the lights and sirens. Could get a little bit dangerous out here. This car continues to push that envelope, probably about orange right now. Looks like we're going to be almost stuck in traffic, excuse me about that. And, the next major is going to be La Brea. But it was La Brea. Sorry about that. It was La Brea. Westbound Hollywood Boulevard continues on out here. These two guys, you got to be careful with the explicitives, but really, really being dangerous out here, taking very unnecessary chances.
Yeah, they're kind of nuts, Stu. I mean, look at the guy. The passenger guy was kind of, hanging out of the car and putting his arm up in celebration. I mean, these guys are,
Whoa.
I mean, they're nuts. And it's really surprising they haven't caused a major accident because they're going really fast on wet roads down a busy Hollywood Boulevard, getting at 2:30 in the afternoon now. That area kind of always busy anyway. Wow. Almost bottomed out there. He's going really fast, and it's amazing each time these pursuits happen that he's got all this leeway ahead of him like this.
Well, he's taking chances. There's another one. He locked him up right there. Nicholas Canyon. So we're going to be coming up to Coldwater here, Laurel here pretty soon. This type of driving is so dangerous. I can't say it enough. It continues on out here. That Mustang really being put through its paces out there for sure. Two guys in this car, passenger, driver. We saw them earlier on. They were on the cell phones. I don't know what they're doing. As far as that goes, looks like we're going to be making a turn right there. It's going to be behind some trees. This is where it actually is going to meet Laurel, I believe. And if he takes the canyon out here, it's going to be very dangerous. Driving on the sidewalk right now, just trying to get around some of these other traffic, and it does look like we're going to be turning northbound up into the Laurel Canyon area. So we're going to be taking some canyon roads. Probably not such a great choice because a lot of the people driving home this evening are going to be taking this as well, trying to stay off the 101 because of the rain and the traffic. He's going to be getting stuck in a lot of this traffic out there. He's going to be taking one of those little side roads right there. This is an area that, at one time, little history, Hollywood, this is where Janis Joplin lived. This is where Jim Morrison lived, right there, right off of Laurel Canyon. We're going to lose him here in the trees for a minute or two. I know where it pops out. Hopefully he doesn't take any of the side roads. We're going to keep an eye on it. But these two guys continue on out here. Very dangerous conditions for sure.
Well, I'm wondering if they chose that road just because they know it's a little bit harder to keep an eye on him, and we don't see any units right behind him. Now, when he was on the 101, we saw at least 2, perhaps 3 CHP units following him on the freeway. But once he exited on Hollywood Boulevard, got off the road, started doing donuts in the middle of the road, we didn't see those units anymore. And so now they've turned up on Laurel Canyon. A lot of traffic. You've got the suspect car, but no one else. So if you're just joining us right now, we are simulcasting right now on KCAL 9 and CBS 2. You are watching a pursuit of burglary suspects in a convertible with the top down in the middle of the rain. Right now, we just saw a police unit right there.
He's not out yet. He's going to pop out at Look.
And
I'm sorry, I was just talking to my...
Yeah, go ahead,
I was just talking to my pilot, giving him the heads up where he's going. Another officer right there. I made a little bit of a wider shot. Hang on one second. I got to talk with my pilot a little bit. John, we got to get a little bit
Yeah,
to
go
the,
ahead. So it's going to be a little tricky right now. We're going up a canyon road. It's tricky for us to see this suspect car between the trees. There he is. You can see two people in the car. The top is down. It is raining. They've been doing donuts in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard, driving crazy, hanging out of the car. And we're going to wait to see how close the units are behind him, because from the moment that he exited the freeway on Hollywood Boulevard to where he is now on Laurel Canyon up into the hills, we have not seen any police units behind him.
Perfect spot. When he pops out, we'll be
when
fine.
we first joined this pursuit, it was only being followed by air units. And
he's stuck in traffic.
Look at all the traffic he has now run into. Not a surprise. We know that area.
Right. There is a lot of traffic right there. Probably these other officers. There he goes. He's coming out. This is going to be Outlook Mountain. There he goes, right out. And that other officer was actually doing the right thing. That one LAPD officer right there was probably trying to get a little bit ahead of him there to block him in. Now we're going to be continuing up the canyon, and you can see other vehicles out here. It's going to be very windy. We're going to work with it the best we can. Whoa, and that's the problem right there. That car, you know, even though it is a Mustang, I'm not putting that car down by any means. You know, they got wet roads, sharp turns, and that car has been riding those brakes, so things are starting to get hot, the parts are getting worn, and this is going to get very, very dangerous.
Road that is creating these hazardous conditions, and that is why at times he is losing control of this vehicle. Again, I've said that it's almost like a game. These guys are just taunting officers, doing donuts on Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood. Sadly, this is just something that these guys think is funny, but a lot of people who are on the road, they're jeopardizing a lot of individuals as they are driving erratically here. Again, LAPD now in pursuit following these alleged burglary suspects, and this pursuit originated out of the LA County Sheriff's Cerritos Division.
Megan, if they continue up Laurel as they are, where will they come out? Will they be back in Hollywood?
They're going to come into Studio City. We are northbound Laurel Canyon, just passing Lookout Mountain, and we are headed into Studio City. Our next major street really will be Mulholland. It's going to be Mulholland first, and then Ventura Boulevard. So we're going to see what this person is going to do when they come up on some of these major streets. Oh, what are we doing with the news chopper is slowing down here. We are just kind of slowing down following this pursuit. We do have a little bit of a low cloud layer, but we are making our way through right there. Wrong side of the road, northbound Laurel Canyon, coming very close to some of these cars. Northbound Laurel Canyon, and we're just about a half a mile shy of Mulholland Canyon.
Yeah, it's one lane up and one lane down. Chuck and Colleen have joined us now. Good afternoon.
Hi, Fred and Megan. We're in studio with you right now. He's on Laurel Canyon on the Hollywood side, heading over the hill right now to the valley side. Is that correct?
That is correct. You can see the LAPD airship is now on scene calling this pursuit. Wrong side of the road on a blind corner. On a blind corner right there. Right there might be an accident. Narrowly missed that one. That was on a blind corner. They couldn't see that traffic coming at them, but we had the vantage point to see some of that traffic. Northbound Laurel Canyon, we're about a quarter mile away from Mulholland, and at times these guys are going on the wrong side of the road. This part of Laurel Canyon is where we have two lanes on the northbound side, but right here you can see traffic is stopped. I'm going to pull out. Here we go. What's going to happen right here? Not too much room. He's going to squeeze right by there, crossing over Mulholland.
That's Mulholland right there, and he took Mulholland, so we're going to continue on out here in the canyons. You know, it's going to be a little bit difficult to follow him. Up here on Mulholland, there's a little less trees, so we're probably going to have a little bit of a better shot. LAPD really starting to weigh their options out here. You know, we've been listening in a little bit, and they are concerned. They're concerned about officer safety. They're concerned about the safety of the public. This guy's continuing on. They have the sheriff's helicopter overhead. I understand the LAPD helicopter is either here or going to be joining in here very shortly. He's continuing on out here, just moving around. Continuing on Mulholland is going to get a little bit tighter out here, but this guy just keeps on crossing that double yellow line. We're going to keep an eye out, see what we can see up ahead. It's going to be windy. It's going to be very difficult to see it sometimes, just letting you know. But this guy, look, wrong side of the road. You don't know what's coming around that blind corner, but this guy continues to get lucky. And whoa, don't know what that was all about. They hit some rocks there. So you can see he's starting to lose a little control over that car and starting to have a little bit of problems.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's crazy. He's still driving on the wrong side of the street, even though there's no one on the other side. And we all know Mulholland, it's windy. There are big homes up there, but they're also just the side of the cliff there. It'll be interesting to see what happens. We don't see any units right behind him now. What we were showing you just a moment ago on the right side of your screen is this whole chase has been kind of crazy. I mean, we got over it before the units got behind him, and he's been going fast. He has been driving crazy, doing donuts in the middle of the road, passing cars, hitting at least one car.
Somewhere underneath us.
And right now, we're still trying to find him, and we've got some air units
There
ahead. Let me see here. Is that him right at the center of the screen there, right?
That's him right. That's right. That's him right there. You know, we kind of lost him around that hairpin pin. I forgot all about that one right there on Mulholland, wrong side of the road. You know, he did hit that curb. It does look like the passenger wheel either is out of alignment, perhaps maybe going flat very slowly. You know, when we're right here on this side, you can kind of see how it's edged out in a different direction. So this is going to add to the performance issues of this chase right now. My pilot, John, working some crazy maneuvers out here, trying to keep this in a shot for us as it continues on. This car continues. And take a look at these two guys in the rain out there this afternoon. Both of them wet, that top down. You know, this is probably going to be the least of their worries shortly. That front wheel, definitely out of alignment. You can kind of see it there, pushing that water different than everything else. We're getting into some more traffic, and this continues on out here. Wrong side of the road again. This pursuit just goes and goes and goes. These two knuckleheads, you know, they burglary suspects. They've had their moment in the sun. They've taken their chances. They got their donuts done in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard more than once. This car really starting to showing wear from this pursuit. Pursuit continues though on Mulholland, working along. The eastbound is the technical term, but you know how it weaves back and forth. We're going to keep an eye on it. The car going a little bit slower now, and LAPD still in pursuit. They are still behind them, and this pursuit just continues out here now in the Hollywood Hills, getting very close to the Universal area.
So this is what we do know. The two suspects in this car, home burglary suspects in the Cerritos area, then leading authorities on a pursuit that was down by the LAX area and now is up into the Hollywood Hills. We don't know whether this car actually belongs to them or if they took it at that house or somewhere sometime after the burglary. We do know that he's hit at least one car. It was a minor collision as he made his way around him on the freeway. Driving fast, kind of crazy on the wrong side of the street, as you can see him doing now. We don't know if he's familiar with the area that he's in now, the Hollywood Hills. Mulholland Drive, windy, with rocks on the side. It's slippery now because of the rain. He's been lucky that he hasn't crashed into anyone yet, but you can see that the car isn't driving the way it should be. It might be a little damaged by the rocks that he hit just a bit ago. But also, these guys aren't driving carefully. I mean, they've been driving crazy, hanging out of the car. It looks like that convertible top might be stuck kind of halfway up, doesn't it, Stu?
That top is probably stuck somehow, probably because when they were on the freeway, higher speeds, we're trying to put it down. Technically still eastbound Mulholland. I'm telling you, that passenger tire is going to be his Achilles heel. It is going flat, no doubt about it. The driver started to struggle with the car a little bit. If he gets these higher speeds, it's just going to make it more and more difficult. I am hopeful he does not hit any other persons out here on the freeway. As we come around this way, now we have a little bit of rain on the lens, but you can kind of see it right there, that front passenger tire really starting to get lower and lower and lower. Coming around here, they're going to be going right underneath us. Whoa! And you can see that. This is where it's going to start getting tighter and tighter. If I'm correct, we're going to wind up on Cahuenga if he keeps this path. Cahuenga going to be pretty much packed out here. That's going to be over by Barham, but this is continuing on. Look at the rain out there. A lot of rain falling. These roads definitely wet. That car's starting to show wear from all this. That front tire really starting to come apart. When it does, I'm kind of wondering if he's just going to stop. He's almost down to the rim. It's going to start getting hotter and hotter, going a little bit wider here. It's going to be some trees coming around, but we're keeping pace with him. He'll be popping out here just a moment. But this pursuit continues out here. Two suspects, burglary suspects, started with the Sheriff's Department. They were on it for a while, got on some freeways. California Highway Patrol took it over. Now it's going to be Hollywood Division of the LAPD, the ones in pursuit, dealing with these two knuckleheads. That driver keeps this car moving. That passenger doing some really ludicrous things out there, standing up, waving people on. Earlier on, they were telling people to call him. You know, I don't know if that was people that he was watching or people that he knows. More trees, and it continues on as we're going to be working our way down the hillside here soon, hopefully, just because I would like to keep such a good eye on this, but these trees are really making it difficult. We're going to be out on the Barham area, or excuse me, Cahuenga in the Barham area. This car just continues on. That front tire starting to give. It's probably going to be heating up. That water might actually be helping it. But right now, though, the only thing I can tell you, that car continues to move. That driver keeps pushing it. And this pursuit continues. And people in the area just need to be aware that this could be coming at them.
Stu, I don't want you to lose track of this car, but out of the window there of Sky 9, do you see any of those police units anymore?
You know, we did see him moments ago. I'm looking out the window, actually, like you asked me to. And, you know, we got a lot of trees down there. I know there's a helicopter overhead as well. There's 2 helicopters overhead as well as sheriffs and LAPD. Sheriffs probably don't want to give this up. There's a stop sign, running the stop sign, but if that is like one of the minor infractions that this guy has been doing. You know, I got to say, this Mustang really, you know, it's a newer model. You can tell that, probably just a couple years old. Just kind of keeping up out here as this driver keeps pushing it. Whoa, 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 oh. You know, and somebody just driving along out there, and these are what the problems are. You know, you don't know this guy, this knucklehead's coming at you, and it's going to be coming down. And there we go. I believe this is going to be either Franklin Canyon. We're going to see which way this guy goes. Looks like he's turning to the south. And your question earlier on, yes, definitely a row of officers behind him. Franklin Canyon is what we just took. And you can see this car moving its way. And I'll give you the street right here in a second. If I get a little bit wider, probably maybe it's going to be Franklin, but yeah, definitely going to be on Franklin. And here we go. It's continuing on. We're going to be out by Highland here pretty soon. You know this area, a lot of traffic, wrong side of the road, and it continues on.
Yeah, so he's always almost has made just one big loop through Hollywood, up through the Hollywood Hills, back down through Mulholland, and now back in the Hollywood area. We're going to wait and see how he behaves now, because when he first got on Hollywood Boulevard, this guy was pretty much driving crazy, doing donuts in the middle of the road. It looks like the rain has let up a little bit, but the streets still look wet. Incredible, Stu, that he went down Mulholland all that way as fast as he was going, ripping through stop signs and not crashing into anyone. I mean, that road is kind of scary when it's raining, even when you're being careful.
You know, yeah, definitely. And we're on Hollywood Boulevard right there. You know, that was a Hollywood moment for sure. Spider-Man was pointing at him as he just was driving by the Kodak. I know it as the Kodak Theater. I don't know what they changed the name to right now. Whoa, got some spike strips. Got some spike strips. So, you know, if that front tire didn't go flat, the other ones definitely will. Through Highland right now on Hollywood Boulevard, definitely hit the spike strips. So that's going to add to the mayhem that's going to be going on out here. That driver kind of sitting up in his seat right there, looking around. It definitely hit at least one tire as we worked our way through that Hollywood area near Highland. LAPD, I don't know who that officer was. Got to give him kudos. He made it work. And, you know, I got to say, this is the first time in a long time I saw those spike strips actually make contact to a vehicle. This guy's standing up right now, or sitting on that window. No seat belts, high speeds. This car hits something right now. You know, I'm wondering what we're going to do with the shot.
Oh, wow,
passing Wilcox, and it just continues on out right now. Don't see any of the tires going flat, though. But it looked like he definitely hit those spike strips. I don't know what he's pointing at back there. He's like telling somebody it's okay. But just continuing now, eastbound Hollywood Boulevard, working our way back to the 101. This Mustang, wow, just keeps on going. And that driver, they're doing some stuff. I don't know what they're waving at or what's going on. I'm trying to see ahead here. A lot of traffic out there, a lot of arms waving around. But it's continuing on Hollywood Boulevard, eastbound, and we're working our way back over to the 101.
Yeah, no doubt that's a nice car with a lot of power behind it. He certainly used it to the max. It looks like it's damaged, and yet he still keeps going. Again, 2 burglary suspects seen going into a home, burglarizing a home in the Cerritos area, leading authorities on a chase that has now gone through Hollywood, up Laurel Canyon Drive, over to Mulholland, back down into the Hollywood area right now. You can see they're both kind of hanging to the right or to the outside of the car. Don't know if they're trying to check out the tires. It was amazing that we saw. I was just about to question, Stu, why there was no traffic coming the other way, and right as I thought it, they drove over that spike strip. But we're not seeing any real damage from the spike strip now.
You know, sometimes they run him over. It wasn't standing up straight. Maybe one of the spikes didn't make contact with the tires. Just a little information on how that spike strip works. It's actually not a nail. That's a misconception. It is actually, think of it as a hollowed nail. So what it's designed to do is get into the tire and then break off. And then you have like a little tube that's going to let the air out of the tires very slowly. It's not as dramatic as people would think, where, you know, the tires aren't going to blow out. There is not going to be an explosion. But now we're working our way, it looks like, onto the 101 southbound. And look at the traffic. I mean, just get a little bit wider there. You can see it's pretty much standing still. This car is still moving along. That front passenger tire, you can see that wheel kind of bent there, moving out in the wrong direction, and it just continues on there. I'm surprised. I mean, I don't want to give props to somebody, but whatever the manufacturer of those tires, got to give them kudos for sure. This Mustang, though, just continuing on. Very heavy traffic. Now, this is the time when officers might be able to make their move if they're right behind them. I'm going to get a little bit wider to see. Yep, they're right there. Perhaps if he gets boxed in, you know, they might be able to just approach the vehicle and take these guys into custody by force. Right now, though, he's basically hugging that emergency lane right there. The rain a little bit lighter. The road's definitely still wet. This Mustang still pushing along out here. That's look at that. It's going to be Vermont, I believe, right there. If not, not Vermont, it's going to be, excuse me, what is that? I think that was Gower. But now he's stuck underneath there. He is popping out on the other side. We're still far from Vermont. It's still moving. You know, southbound 101. You know, this guy being courteous, giving other drivers thumbs up for getting out of his way. These people basically probably just keeping themselves safe. Continuing on down the 101 freeway, southbound, very, very slow. Law enforcement right there. You know, this law enforcement obviously not in the pursuit. That is very jurisdictional for these guys, so they can't just join in. So not sure who that was exactly, but definitely another law enforcement right there. These two just making casual conversation. Hey, how's your Facebook doing? I don't know. What's going on? Can I cut in? This is kind of nutty stuff for sure. But the pursuit continues out here. LAPD wants this car to stop. We've taken a nice tour of the Hollywood area, Hollywood Hills. Right now, though, southbound 101, and we need to, LAPD is probably going to be making a move here pretty shortly. On the right side of your screen, we're showing you the donuts that he was doing on Hollywood Boulevard as soon as he exited the road when the rain was a little bit heavier. Just incredible. He did this twice, actually, on Hollywood Boulevard, almost hitting some cars when he was doing this. And cars actually, when they figured out what was happening, had to get out of his way. A driver driving erratically, going very fast, doing donuts, blowing stop signs, going on the shoulder. I mean, this guy's pretty much done everything wrong, broken just about every traffic law. What happened here? Look at the tour truck. Oh, the tour bus is actually trying. He's trying to get out of the way. He's trying to get out of the way.
Oh my gosh, it's a TMZ bus.
It's a tour bus. Was basically trying to get out of the way, and was blocking this guy in. They threw something at one of the other cars that was also trying to block him in. You know, these guys might be thinking this is the time of their lives. I can tell you, he's taken a lot of people's, health in their hands, and it's very, very dangerous stuff. It continues on out here. He's stopping, he's going. The traffic is packed out here. It's continuing on. He's digging around in the back seat, not sure what he's looking for, but this also is going to concern officers, because there was that big question earlier on. I heard the law enforcement talking about it. I heard the deputies talking about it earlier on, asking about if the possibility these guys are armed. They are burglary suspects, so there's a good possibility. Him digging around in that back seat, that's going to put law enforcement on edge. Right there, passing under another one of these overpasses right there. I believe that's going to be Santa Monica. Continuing on, using that emergency lane, and it just continues here. This car keeps on moving. Other vehicles trying to get out of his way. The passenger sitting there and very agitated. They're just kind of got something else there. Don't know what these things are, but it looks like he's starting to play some game where he's like trying to throw things at people for whatever reason. I have no idea what it is that's in his hand, but he's got some plans right there. I'm not sure what the idea is. You've got to think that eventually these two guys are going to go, hey, wait a minute, maybe we should just give this up. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon. Southbound 101 freeway, pursuit continues. These two guys, he's driving on the shoulder right there. You can see him speeding up, slowing down. He's not going to get around anybody. I'm looking ahead. It's rainy. It's Los Angeles. It's that time of day. The traffic is packed as far as I can see. We'll see if he stays on the freeway.
Yeah, these guys, I don't know if it's the driver or the car or a combination of both, but he really knows how to handle that car, and he's been able to weave in and out of traffic, get himself out of these tight situations. Really amazing to see him, drive this car. Now, one of the concerns I know when you run into traffic like this with a pursuit is that we have seen suspects jump out of their car, especially if the car becomes disabled, and carjack someone, which is why whenever I'm driving, I lock the doors no matter where I am. I could be going down the street, I lock my doors when I'm in my car. But that is a concern when it gets really heavy traffic and if the car gets disabled and they're just desperate to get away from the authorities. Now, they've been able to weave their way through a lot of traffic. How far back are the units?
Let me get a little bit wider. He's not going to get out of our sight, I can tell you that. They're a little ways behind right there. They're probably, an eighth of a mile, maybe less, which could be made up very, very quickly if they need to. A little bit of an opening right there. Now we're getting to Vermont. Not sure if he's going to take the Vermont exit. It looks like he's kind of established in that lane right now, but he might be moving off, but it looks like he's kind of staying on that Gore point. Nope, he's not exiting. He's just staying right there, getting back onto the freeway and working his way, weaving his way back and forth out there. It's a sad state of affairs where, we have to worry about somebody being, a general public being carjacked out here as just a general talk. These guys, they could do that. There's no doubt about it. If they're armed, it may happen. We've seen it happen. And it's scary. It's just a scary thought. We don't want to deal with that. These two guys right now probably having the time of their lives. I'm sure they're going to be paying for this for a long, long time. We've seen the one guy, he was very fascinated with his phone a little bit earlier on. Now we don't see him on his phone as much. Right now this car continues. Now it's stopped in the traffic out here. He's kind of cocking his wheel back and forth, kind of making an idea where he wants to go. He's got that curb right there. We've seen these things get stuck on those curbs as well. This time he made it over it again. Other people just getting out of his way out there, and that's probably because they're hearing the lights and sirens from the LAPD.
Well, not to mention
these two guys.
Not to mention you're driving around and you've got this crazy guy driving a Mustang on the curb like that. Are they still on the freeway? Did we just pass Benton Way, or that looks like it might be an exit lane there?
That's a Gore point. We're still southbound on the 101 freeway. Benton Way's probably coming up. I think that's the one with the exterminator. Yep, there it is, the big exterminator. So yep, and so we're in that area for sure. Working our way. Benton Way's going to be the next off ramp. They're working our way in the rain, just kind of moving our way along here. The traffic that we see, that's the way it is as far as I can see. I'm looking out Sky 9. I can see all the way down to the 4 level right now. It's about the same type of traffic. Rain's starting to fall again, starting to get a little bit heavier. These guys, maybe it's a little bit of justice, the top not going up. So, they're getting wet, if that's any consolation. This car right now, amazing. Threw those spike strips out. Spike strips didn't make contact. These tires really starting to hold up. That front passenger tire, that wheel is out of alignment for sure. But that tire bulging but not losing much air anymore. This Mustang continues on out here, slow moving, but still enough to keep LAPD at bay. This pursuit continues. 2 burglary suspects inside this car appear to be younger males, the driver and the passenger in the front seat. There was talk about a third. Really kind of curious what happened to that third person, if there ever was, if that person got out, if that person's in custody, and obviously if that person's out of the car, what's he saying about his buddies? Right now, though, using that gore point, working his way back in there again, and just kind of like creeping to a stop. And this is the way it's going to be for a while. We saw him make contact earlier on at the very, very beginning with another vehicle. He tried to lock him up, the wet roads. He slid into somebody. His speeds have really slowed. It's probably because he can't do much. It's just the traffic's just the traffic. This is what it is. Welcome to Los Angeles. And we've never really seen this type of traffic, or I haven't, for our pursuit. So it's interesting to see how these cars getting out of this guy's way, making a path for him. LAPD still there behind him, lights and sirens, people moving out of the way as they should. This guy staying on the freeway, just kind of weaving in and out of traffic. These 2 guys, seems like they're almost having fun. I don't want to make it sound like that, but that's really what it is. They actually are showing no concern about what's going on, no concern about the people around them, and just here we go again. Got a little bit of an open spot. I move a little bit faster than freeway traffic. Looking around, that guy saying thank you to people for getting out of his way. The passenger, we saw him throw stuff at people earlier on for not getting out of the way. So, they're playing good burglar, bad burglar, and it just continues on out here. Southbound 101 freeway, and we'll be getting to the 4 level here pretty shortly.
You're watching a simulcast of the pursuit of 2 burglary suspects now on the southbound 101 freeway. This started about an hour ago with a burglary call in Cerritos, a resident witnessing what that person said was 3 people breaking into a home, but we see 2 people in this car evading police right now. This happened in Cerritos again. We're kind of back in the same area where we already were. He was northbound 101, getting into the Hollywood area, doing donuts right in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard, going up through the Hollywood Hills, over to Mulholland, back down into Hollywood, and now southbound on the 101. With units behind him, we're now into a lot of traffic, approaching the 4 level, and he's still weaving his way in and out of traffic. And there's got to be a lot of traffic in this area, right, Stu?
Lena, is a lot of traffic out here in general. And, he's got a little opportunity right there. If he wanted to jump over something, the officers from LAPD, really, you can see, really starting to make their presence known, getting right up behind him there. They probably won't pit him out here, but I'm kind of wondering if he really gets boxed in, these officers, they may just get out and try to take him over. There he goes, driving over that curb, taking advantage of any open lane at all to get this car through there. Just on that center divider, off the center divider, moving along out here. These guys, they're not really looking back, and that's probably maybe a good thing for them right now, because when they look back, they're going to be seeing what's going to be happening here shortly. Eventually, this is going to come to an end, one way or another. Hopefully, nobody's going to get hurt. Hopefully, these guys don't get hurt. But LAPD behind them for sure. California Highway Patrol, you think maybe they're going to be taking this back over because we're back onto their freeways. Not really so sure about that. Not hearing any words about that at all. Sheriff's helicopter was overhead for a long time. Just kind of keeping up with it. It was the burglary in their area. Cerritos was the area. And you're right, Lena, we've seen that kind of behavior. I'm not a criminalist by any means of any stretch of the imagination. But, he might be taking the 110 south because he was 110 north. Any freeway he takes, though, it's going to look like this. There are no open roads out here this afternoon. We are transitioning. Looks like we're going to be taking the 110 freeway here, coming up onto the 4 level. Looks like he's just kind of hanging out on that right side, but maybe that's because of traffic. But any freeway he takes, it's going to be packed. Any freeway he takes, it's going to be slow moving. Officers from LAPD backing off a little bit. They have that opportunity. Take a look right there, something interesting. I believe that's going to be Beverly. You got another officer basically paralleling the pursuit. just keeping an eye on what's going on, just in case, you know, maybe these guys pull over, run across the median, try to get away. So they'll be in place there to basically say, hey, hi, how's it going?
You are watching.
Here we go, southbound 110.
You're watching KCAL 9 News here at 3 o'clock, also simulcasting on CBS 2. We've got Stu Mundell in our chopper following this pursuit that's been going on for over an hour now. 2 burglary suspects in a convertible Mustang with the top down in the rain. Now southbound on the 101. I believe they've made it now on the 110 freeway. We will show you kind of some of the crazy moves that have happened during this pursuit. Again, we told you that we have witnessed at least one minor collision with a car as he was trying to get around a car. And then on the 101, almost a collision right there with a TMZ tour bus. As the bus was trying to get out of the way or making a lane change, that car, that Mustang with the passenger hanging off the top there, squeezed its way and threw something at the tour bus. Wow, what kind of tour would that be for you? I believe that bus might have been empty, though, but a TMZ bus almost in a collision with this suspect evading police. Again, we've got 2 people in this car right now. There were reports that there were 3 people involved in a burglary that happened in Cerritos. This pursuit has been going on for more than an hour now, and it shows no signs of giving up, despite all the traffic that this suspect has run into. Looks like the rain has let up a little bit, but that car's got to be completely wet inside. For an hour, he's been driving with the top down, kind of stuck in a position right now. And it looks like he's just cruising right now down the 110 freeway, I believe. Apart. Is the car coming apart? Is the wheel coming apart, Stu?
Definitely, the tire's going flat. That front passenger tire definitely going flat, coming apart, going across that little gore point. As somebody really, I used to get tweets about that. Don't say gore point. Don't know why. But anyway, there you go. He just hit that bump there pretty hard. That passenger front tire coming apart. We just saw another little piece come off of it. But you got to think that tire, he hit those rocks on Mulholland. How long ago was that? That passenger tire really starting to come apart. He's going to be riding on the rims here, but if he continues with these slower speeds, might not make that much of a difference unless he's going to try to brake. We're working our way over there, trying to get over to the side. You can see that wheel, basically just a steel wheel there, almost hanging. Apparently, something's getting jammed up underneath that wheel, so that's going to create some heat. This is going to some parts are coming off. So this car might be giving up the ghost here just in a couple of minutes. That front wheel really not turning. At first, I thought maybe it was something with the Video Magic shutter speeds, but it's not. It really looks like something's jamming up that front wheel, so that's going to be a problem for them here shortly. As we work our way southbound 101 freeway, we're going to keep the best shot we can, but you can see that wheel stopped right now, or almost stopped. There it goes, broke free, whatever it was, but he's continuing on right now, and we're going to be working our way southbound 110 freeway. We're going to lose it here for a moment or two. We're going to keep an eye on it, though, and keep track of where it is.
Well, and let's not forget, these suspects actually drove over a spike strip that was placed on Hollywood Boulevard as they made their way back down the Hollywood Hills, got onto Hollywood Boulevard, drove over that spike strip, and we were surprised that this car's like the little Energizer Bunny, just keeps on going. We see damage, it's clear, but this guy continues to evade police. There's damage on the car, but he's still able to drive it. And wouldn't you know it, they're on the 110 freeway, there's slow traffic, but it looks like he's got a lot of space. Looks like he's on his phone right now, is that right?
You know, this is the first time I saw the driver on his phone. Passenger was using his phone earlier on. You know, you really should use a wireless handset or something like that, especially when driving high speeds with a flat tire in a pursuit on the southbound 110 freeway through downtown Los Angeles in the rain and traffic. But anyways, this guy just keeps on going here. Look at that. That tire, that wheel just stopped, not moving. He's riding basically on 3 wheels right now. Driver of the vehicle on the phone. This car just continues on. Energizer Bunny, that, you know, I'm amazed. I am frankly amazed that this car is still going on out here. You know, you got to wonder if something's got to be rubbing underneath that car. I'm surprised we're not seeing any kind of sparks or anything, but that wheel eventually kind of breaks free, starts turning a little bit, but then stops. So he's rolling on 3 wheels on the phone, and this pursuit continues on. Southbound 110 freeway, we're out of the downtown area. Looks like we might be transitioning onto the 10. A little bit less traffic. Nope, he's going right across there using that center median and continuing on here. Southbound 110 freeway, three-wheeling it in the rain. This guy's on his phone right now. That passenger, you know, he's not being as cocky as he was before. So maybe some of the reality is starting to set in that, you know what, this ride is not going to go on forever. This car, though, really starting to push it. You know, we saw it in an accident. We see it now with 3 tires, and it is still moving on. Makes you kind of wonder, maybe he did hit one of the spike strips. It's just taking that long for these tires to go flat. Continuing on right now, center medium, going to be coming up on Adams here shortly, but we're still going to be southbound 110 freeway. He's in that very, very large area, this emergency lane right now. These two guys, the driver now on the phone, 3 wheels working on the vehicle. That one passenger front totally, pretty much out of the game, kind of wishing that car would give it up about now also before somebody gets hurt. There we go. We're going to be coming up on Adams right there. That's going to be the 10 freeway that we're passing under. So this continuing on, moving very, very slow. They're riding the shoulder, basically moving a little bit faster than traffic. But if he's going to try to make it back to Cerritos, I'm really curious if that car is going to make it.
Yeah, so we can just keep an eye on that right passenger front wheel there. You can see it's actually it's like breaking free of whatever is stuck in it, and it's still riding on the rims there. It looked like the passenger or the driver was on the phone and actually looked up at you, looked up at Sky 9 for a moment there while you were talking, Stu. So I don't know if he's struggling or if he's considering. No, it looks like the car is just struggling a little bit as he's riding on the side of the street there. But it doesn't look like he's ready to pull over. We don't know how much gas this car has, but this pursuit has been going on for over an hour now. And you're right, he may very well head back to the area where this started. Again, this started as a burglary of a home in the Cerritos area. And these 2 suspects got into this car. We don't know if it's their car or something they stole from the house.
There we
Is
go.
he exiting now?
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
Oh, my
whoop.
goodness.
Yep, he's definitely exiting, and he's making a wild turn right there. We've been really tight on it for a while. Let me take a look where we are. This is going to be Adams. We're going to be getting off at Adams right there. This is going to be the university's USC area. Excuse me. Sorry about that move. And he's just basically running the lights out here. Looks like we're going to be getting on to Figueroa. You can see into the university area. Officers from LAPD, I'm taking a look to see where they are. They are still in pursuit. There's south right there. That's going to be Figueroa that we're going to be joining right there. That's going to be Figueroa and working his way south here. You know, this area is very close to USC. A lot of people out here. This is going to be the food alley, I think is what they call her, fast food alley. You know, so a lot of people out here. Traffic's going to be out here as well. You know, just talking about that car for a moment. You know, if that's the suspect's vehicle, you know, he gets what he deserves. If that's a relative's vehicle or somebody that he borrowed, or it's just a crying shame. It kind of shows you the mentality of these people. You know, I don't want to. It's just selfish. It's just wrong. You know, you're taking this vehicle, you're beating the hell out of it. You know, it's going to get impounded. It's just not right. If it's stolen, you know, it's still totally wrong. But these guys continuing on, very slow moving. We just saw Adams, southbound Figueroa. We're going to be in the USC area. I don't know why I keep stumbling on that. Fast food alley area. You can see traffic out here. This car moving a little bit slower. This would be a spot where LAPD could make those moves. They could basically get up behind him. They know that that car is having a little bit of difficulty with that tire problem. But also, Lena, you know, I got to think, you might be right. If he jumps out right now and tries somebody else's doors or tries to get another car, that could be a problem for, you know, the public at large. You know, and this gives you an idea also. Other people, they just don't know. That
Right.
car right there, he doesn't know what's going on. He's just basically driving across the street right there.
Yeah,
But LAPD, they are behind it.
Yeah, you can see that the LAPD's behind it, but they're really keeping their distance, Stu. I mean, they have a chance now to get right up on him, but their strategy right now is to keep their distance. I mean, this car looks like it could kind of come to an end here. It could kind of break down perhaps sometime soon. They know that these guys are kind of crazy, so right now the LAPD right behind them, but keeping their distance. As they continue to make their way through surface streets now, or in the Exposition Park area, another very busy area, and yet he's just kind of leisurely going along there. We saw the driver on the phone, don't know if he's talking to someone and planning something out. And can you see where, is he just trying to go the other way, or so he just made a turn?
Just turning down a side street out here. Just this car keeps on moving along. We saw him waving at some people waving back here moments ago. You know, it is kind of fun. It is almost a Los Angeles thing. Pursuits. You know, everybody is all, you know, we owe a pursuit, and LA, it seems to happen quite a bit. Officers from the LAPD, they're behind this guy for sure. People out here, you know, they're waving at this guy. He's, you know, he's getting his few moments of fame. That is going to come to an end for sure. Don't know if it's going to be worth it for him in the long run. Probably, hopefully not. Other cars here starting to pass him. That car driving very, very slowly right now. Probably starting to think about what he can or cannot do. That driver on the phone, we saw him dialing some numbers, making some phone calls, just casually driving right there. LAPD out there. There's a one right there at the intersection. Don't know if he was going to put out that spike strip or not. They are behind him. This is still technically a pursuit. See that sign? Of course, the 110, there's going to be an on-ramp coming up, but he has a lot of other options before he gets back onto the freeway. This thing just continuing on. Very slow moving now. 3 wheels, though, so that might have something to do with it as well. Maybe the car having a little bit of difficulty as well. Don't see any smoke. Don't see any signs that the car would be giving up. That driver, though, just kind of driving along. Now he's getting into a little spot where he's going to get stuck. I think that's going to be 39th Street right there, and then the next one's going to be MLK. But it looks like we're going to be making a right turn here onto MLK, possibly going straight, but he's definitely looking in his mirror there. He knows what's going on, and just kind of biding his time. But this car, just the stance of these two and the car really starting to change. These guys, you know, they're getting a little bit tired. That car might be getting tired. This might be coming to an end.
Yeah, so we'll see what he's going to do here. I don't know why he stopped, whether, well, you never know what's going through these guys' minds when they're leading police on a chase like that. So it wasn't traffic that he was stopped. I don't know if he was actually following the lights and paying attention to the law for a moment there. But the driver, again, evading police on the phone, on and off the phone. They look a little more subdued than they were earlier, hanging out of the car in the middle of the rain doing donuts, so they're certainly more subdued. That car is more subdued now that it's on 3 wheels. But aren't you surprised, Stu, maybe because it's the rain, that we've seen no sparks, no smoke or anything, and we know clearly the right front passenger wheel is pretty much shot, although the rim is still there.
Totally. I am very shocked that we're not seeing any kind of sparks. We're not seeing any kind of fire or anything coming out. You can see LAPD, that officer right there, spike strip in hand. That's a very bulky item, basically putting it back into the vehicle as they're working their way around out here, turning down another side street, driving very, very slowly. Possibly that car not as maneuverable as it was earlier on. Figueroa is the main out here. We're working our way back onto Figueroa. If I had to guess, and I do right now because I've been so turned around, looks like we're still going southbound. We're still going southbound, and over probably by the Coliseum or the sports arena. There's a sports arena. So yeah, this thing continuing on down here. Martin Luther King Avenue is going to be Boulevard's going to be coming up here in just a moment. Very slow moving, very different type of stance for sure. That car really starting to struggle. Probably these two guys probably starting to get that reality, like, hey, well, we're not going to be able to do anything, or you know, we're going to jail, and
looks like he's waving
that's
at you
going
there.
to be the end of it here.
Yeah.
He's waving at somebody, that's for sure. And you know, the thing is, you know, he's waiting for lights now. That's not going to excuse him for the behavior earlier on. It isn't one of those, oh well, yeah, at the end you kind of, you know, you started following the law, so we're just going to let you go. It's not going to happen. The officers from LAPD, they are biding their time. You can see another officer unit driving right by him there. Don't know if they just want to disable the vehicle. That might be their plan. Just maybe they want to see another tire go flat before they do anything. He basically waited for that light, now continuing on. This is the good side of the car. Got that damage from when we saw earlier on the 101 northbound, where he had that collision right about the Glendale area. Didn't lose a tire, but definitely smashed that front end of the car. Later on, Mulholland, he did hit some rocks earlier. He drove off the road. Don't know if something caught the wheel or what, but he got off the road and it damaged that.
Now there's an LAPD area or police car ahead of him there. You see him there, and then he's going to deploy a spike strip. Guy's going to run all the way over the side. Officer, see, he didn't deploy it all the way out. He should have run out some more. The problem with that is you run out to try to throw that spike strip, and
I'm sure he's got some choice. There's some choice words going on. I wish we could hear it. I don't think we could air it, but something is definitely going on right there. And officers now with their weapons out, that's something else to see. If these guys were armed, they would have their guns out. This would be a different stance. So they believe that these suspects are just two knuckleheads, burglary suspects for sure. Armed, probably not. And you can see he's continuing on now. We're going to be southbound Figueroa. Moving along here very, very slow in the rain. That Mustang really, the toll is starting to show, but their attitude seems to be moving up here a little bit as more people are starting to get out into the road and creating a little bit more of an effect. I'm going to work with my pilot, see if we can get a little bit closer so we don't get eclipsed by these buildings as much, maybe get a little bit more direct. But we're continuing now southbound on Figueroa. And the passenger is starting to showboat again. Other people in the area getting out, taking a look, coming out, even in the rain, to see these two knuckleheads make their way southbound. And, it's very dangerous. This guy, if they get into an accident right now, I couldn't imagine the injuries that passenger would receive, even at these slower speeds.
Yeah, just a moment ago, you saw him kind of standing up, hanging out of the car there, I can't tell if it's shadows, but it looks like there is some left front end damage on that Mustang. Maybe with the TMZ tour bus that we saw, or another collision along the way here. But anyway, so what we do know is that it's driving pretty much on perhaps 3 good wheels, and it's still going. Stu, I can tell you we've got some people following us on Facebook right now, and what they're saying is this is a great commercial for a Mustang because it is unbelievable. Everything that he's been through, and it's still going.
Mustang or whatever the tire manufacturers are, it really is. I didn't want to say it. I'm glad one of our viewers.
That's why you're seeing such a long shot not in front. So through 47th Street here, southbound Figueroa, going pretty slow. So he's pretty well crippled by that right front tire being gone. And LAPD is going to work up ahead of him and start trying to spike him ahead. I wouldn't doubt with this movement here, he doesn't have much room going to the left, so that'll take him to the Harbor Freeway. There's only a few crossovers ahead. You see people on the road, they're dancing and screaming. So, yeah, you're going to start picking up the looky-loos on the side of the freeway, or side of the road here as he works his way along. Still moving on. I'm looking down ahead.
Putting his blinker on. That's nice. I'm glad that he's signaling to take left.
Yeah. I want.
But because of the airspace and our separation laws for the aircraft, they have 2 helicopters out here, so we have to stay even farther away. And that's what's happening right now. We're on 51st Street. You can see him making that turn. That's going to be the freeway right there. He's going to be going underneath the carpool lane on the 110 freeway. He's working his way towards us now. So it's going to be we'll see where this goes. Probably my guess is just from where the general direction, probably going to be getting onto Broadway and continuing south. But we'll see here in just a moment. We're on 51st Street, moving very, very slowly. LAPD definitely knows where he is, what's going on, and a number of officers are following him out here. And here we come up to Broadway, a lot of traffic out here, and just people out here walking around. I wonder if they even know who this guy is as they come out in force, popping off pictures. Now he's starting to get a little bit more aggressive, following a food truck. We're going to be turning northbound on Broadway, southbound Broadway. So he's going to be continuing that same path that we've been taking, but we're basically just on the other side of the 110 freeway now.
Well, we want to thank our viewers for watching both on KCAL 9 and CBS 2, the simulcast of a pursuit, because just like you, we want to see how this ends as well. It's been going on for more than an hour now in the rain with some crazy, crazy driving. Donuts in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard twice, a couple of collisions, one with a TMZ tour bus on the freeway, a spike strip, and yet this guy continues to go. It is really, really amazing. With the top down, looks like the top is actually stuck. In the rain, two guys suspected in a burglary in the Cerritos area, still evading police, and we don't know how this is going to end. We know that the car is a bit disabled. Don't know if police are just keeping their distance and waiting for this car to give out, for this to end peacefully. And for a while there, they were, driving erratically and fast, and then they kind of slowed it down, leisurely drive, and then at parts during this chase, they kind of pick it up again, with the passenger hanging out the door. And just a bit ago, we saw some people who no doubt has seen this on the news and coming out to take pictures and to wave at these guys. Again, he's in the South LA area. More than an hour ago, he was near the LAX area, and we knew that we had some flight restrictions around there, Stu, so don't know if you're going to run into that again. So now, just another kind of slow roll down the road here, and LAPD or whoever the units are still keeping their distance, aren't they?
Definitely keeping their distance. LAPD is starting to use more aircraft to monitor this now. More of a following than anything else. They're just kind of keeping an eye on this guy right here. We're about probably this is going to be.
When they're in tracking mode, do they? You're just not seeing the cruisers behind them, but there's still the helicopters who are tracking them. But then, if they do decide to get out, then the law enforcement is somewhat nearby to
that's right. Action. They are authorized in tracking mode. They are authorized to continue with lights and sirens in pursuit. The idea is to try to stay out of the view of the suspect, to try but obviously Air Support Division does not disengage. In fact, their role in the pursuit is heightened. They're the ones that are giving all the information to the ground officers. When they get out and run, which more than likely will happen, we'll see here. That's a look-alike there. That's
why
not
these
the suspect.
Cars would want to get so close to these guys?
They may not know,
that
though.
That could be someone they know too, or that someone could be, could be a lot of things. But it looks like that car's getting a little close. But you got to remember, they're driving extremely slow right now. So again, there's no black and whites in the area. There's no lights and sirens in the area. So these people are going, is this guy doing with the top half up and the tires and get out of my way?
Probably very
I'm
annoyed.
late for work.
Yes,
very annoyed.
We saw a woman on the side of the road talking to them too.
Yeah, let's watch. This is going to be interesting.
They don't seem real concerned.
It's because they had the earbuds
Avalon
in.
And 59.
Yeah,
59th and Avalon. As he makes the southbound turn on Avalon from 59. Not sure what that white vehicle is, but that could be. That very
like
possibly could be LAPD.
Officer.
That could be a LAPD Metropolitan Division officer in a Crown Vic there. Very possible that could be Metro. But it does appear to be a police vehicle, unmarked. So we'll see what happens here. And that more likely maybe 60th. I'll get confirmation of that. Eastbound 60th from Avalon. As they come through this very residential area, the good news is his speeds are slow. He is not. He doesn't seem to be driving as erratically as before. Yeah, now I see another cruiser in the back, and that appears to. No, that's got a sunroof. So I'm almost certain that white cruiser behind may be a what we call a dual-purpose vehicle. It's not undercover because it's clearly a police car, but a dual purpose.
A lot of pedestrian. Looks like school might have just gotten out or something. See what happens here.
And that as we call it, an unmarked police car, they're not showing their lights or sirens or anything like that. It looks like they truly are not. They're trying to stay under the radar.
Yeah, their emergency lighting is in their windshield. It's not obviously on top, so it might be a little difficult for us to see if that's on or off from the angle we're here. In Air 7 HD, because we're pretty high. Sometimes you can only see that emergency lighting if you're directly in front of the vehicle, unlike a light bar. But it appears that we're continuing eastbound 60th from McKinley, and they can see schools let out. You've got kids with backpacks on and coming through the area, and that, let's just see, is that, try to get a street on that person. Now he's northbound, Wadsworth, and lots of school kids out. Looks like junior high or high school kids letting out, so that's always a concern, but again, his driving has significantly been significantly slowed down. He's not doing that dangerous, silly or stuff that he was doing earlier in Hollywood. Now that looks like that this might be a
go.
pit maneuver. Is that the police vehicle? That might be a pit maneuver, and maybe not.
They
So-
certainly
It's
are
a good
close.
thing that tire,
Oh boy,
Yeah,
let's see what
there's
happens here.
that Buick right there pulling up right next to him right now, basically talking to that guy. Don't know if he's giving him some wise advice or just some advice, but look at that. People basically out there, maybe he knows this area, basically stopping right now, talking to people out there on the streets. If these are his people, then, they need to tell him, just get out of the car. There we go. Driver's out of the car, on the phone, just kind of walking around. This is where it's coming to an end. Sitting on the car. So, he's taunted LAPD many times, and it seems like he's taunting them again. Some handshakes going on. The only reason I'm going a little bit wider right now is because I want to see if LAPD is in the area. They are not. We know we're very close to Wadsworth, and he's just kind of doing some handshakes out here, and the driver doing bear hugs. This is like he just won GTA. But what they don't show you on GTA is what happens to what reality is going to happen here, shortly. Don't know what the deal is with the car, if it was his own, or if it was not. Waiting on Los Angeles, the LAPD to make their way over here. The passenger just kind of sitting there talking. The driver blending into the crowd. I do see him right there. And again, the officers from LAPD, we haven't heard anything, but you can imagine that they got to be making their way up over here. Right now, I'm just want to get some cross streets.
Well, and the danger in this, Stu, once units get there is, well, you got your two original suspects, but then now you've got their friends, and if that crowd starts to grow, then they've got other problems, potential problems that they have to deal with. But right now, what we see are those two suspects who've stopped, the driver now sitting on the hood of the car, the passenger standing still inside the car, and LAPD not anywhere near them right now. But of course, we've got the air units above, right?
Well, Lena, I have some unconfirmed information about what's going on right now because I was very, very curious here. So basically what's going on is the Sheriff's Department started this pursuit earlier on, and then it got handed off to California Highway Patrol, and then, of course, LAPD got involved into this pursuit. Now that it has come to a stop, Sheriff's Department is being notified of where the suspects are, but they don't have a unit in the area right now. So it's just kind of a waiting game. He's basically saying, hey, I'm right here, and I'm still not been arrested. It is humorous. I can't see it going anywhere, any kind of south from this point, but very, very bizarre ending to a very bizarre chase. Earlier on, this guy taunting officers, donuts in the streets. He did make a collision with one other person on the 101 freeway. It was very tense moments. Then we were winding our way through the mountains out there. This guy really putting that car through its paces. Maybe very good at video games. This car really started to handle the punishment that was being doled out to it. Front passenger tire, when he went off the road, hit a big rock. That tire eventually went flat miles down the road. Many agencies involved, a couple of very close calls, but in the end, this car just kept going and going and going, pushing his way through traffic. TMZ tour bus, good on him. Not sure if he did it on purpose, not sure if it was just accidental, but basically got in this guy's way, slowed it down, made an opportunity, but none of those opportunities were taken. Somebody giving him a phone right now. So
yeah, I started. Something just got handed off to that suspect. The gentleman in the yellow pullover, he handed something to that suspect and it went in the pocket. That's concerning. It was unclear for me what that was, but he immediately put it in his pocket. I don't know if it was money, maybe bail money, who knows. But he handed him something and he put it in his pocket. That's always a dangerous thing. Something for the officers to be aware of. That male on the sidewalk wearing that yellow sweatshirt handed that driver suspect something.
And it looks like he's on a different cell phone.
Oh, now this guy's standing in the rain.
Amazing.
And people coming out, taking pictures. And the car is sitting there, and more people starting to work their way out. Traffic starting to build. But this pursuit now over, and I say that with a question mark because nobody's in custody, but the car's just sitting here waiting on the Sheriff's Department to work their way out here to the South Los Angeles area to welcome these two folks to the system.
Yeah, I wonder if the suspects know what's going on. We've got some ground video now of this car making its way down Hollywood Boulevard. Just crazy. I can't remember the last time we saw a pursuit in the rain like this, where he was going so fast down surface streets and doing donuts in a convertible with the top down, hanging out, kind of just being a menace as he has been. And right now, they have made no effort to hide themselves. They've stopped the car. Looks like he's getting back into the car now. But they stopped the car. They have stayed in the same place. Perhaps he's moving the car out of the way now because it's actually in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
How courteous of him.
And this is very courteous indeed. You know, this is kind of unusual because the crowd's going to start forming out here, and I'm kind of wondering when the officers do arrive, what kind of attitude they're going to be greeted with. These two seem to be more than willing to basically put their hands up. Some selfies being taken there. You can't miss that opportunity. And traffic moving very, very slowly by there. More selfies being taken. The passenger just basically more of the hero, which is kind of unusual in itself. And now officers from LAPD are also seeing the number of people that are starting to arrive out here. So now it's starting to snowball a little bit more. They don't want to make that turn. They don't want to show up over there because they don't want to be outnumbered and have an issue. So they're going to be waiting on more units to arrive out here. You can see some sheriff's units right there. Again, this is going to be very close to 5-1 in Central, 51st and Central. You can take a look at all the traffic out there, and these two guys, their moment to shine. Some high fives going around, a bunch of selfies being taken. More people starting to show up out here as the cars are starting to flow through the area. Even an old lady out there.
Look, he's walking up
with
to
her phone. There we go.
He's walking up to them with his hands behind his back, fully expecting to be arrested. And actually, it's nice to see that it's ending this way because this could be a really a difficult, tense situation. And it looks like it's going to be ending peacefully the way we like to see it. But because they weren't taken into custody immediately after the pursuit, the situation really changed and could have become very dangerous. You've got the two suspects and their friends, and the crowd is building. But it looks like both suspects are being taken into custody right now. Actually, kind of a surprise ending to what we've been seeing so far, huh, Stu?
Definitely a very surprising ending. And, it kind of shows you something. They got to point this out. It is the more kinder, friendlier law enforcement in the Los Angeles area. These are Sheriff's Department. These are the deputies out here. Just walked up to these two guys. These two guys also maybe a little bit, more of they willingly went into custody. Even the dog is not amused. He's done with that as well. These two guys basically walked up, got into the cuffs. Basically, the deputies could have handed it to him. Looks like they would have put them on themselves. The second one now being frisked, being placed into the car. Officers are going to take this car. Probably it's going to go into some sort of custody, probably to a impound yard. Probably they're talking to him right now, wanting to know if anybody knows the owner of the vehicle, asking people to move back. Wow. This still could become a crowd type of situation, even though these two were with the mindset like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and go into custody. The other ones may not be. I don't know. There's a third person here. Deputies are taking this person into custody as well. Maybe this was the mysterious third passenger in the vehicle earlier on that somebody said that maybe they let out. That was before we were able to get up in Sky 9 and get on this. So they are taking one more person into custody. But again, this person almost willingly being taken into custody. So very bizarre ending to a very bizarre chase out here this afternoon. Law enforcement handling it, but the crowd's still out here for sure. Going to keep an eye on it, but the car is stopped. 3 in custody, all out here South Los Angeles. 5-1 in Central is where it all came to an end.
Stu, thank you. We want to show our viewers now, in case they missed any of this pursuit that's been going on for about an hour and a half. The suspect exited the freeway, got on Hollywood Boulevard in the middle of the rain, and started doing donuts right in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard. Some crazy fishtailing, driving fast, even though he was stuck in traffic, kind of weaving his way in and out of traffic into busy intersections. All of this while just really creating two minor collisions, not hurting anyone else but themselves right now, because they're all headed to jail. But this started in the Cerritos area as a burglary call. The pursuit then wound its way through Hollywood. As you can see there on the right side of your screen, the car going up on the curb, doing everything it can to damage that car, and yet it kept them going for quite some time. There they are on Laurel Canyon, where the driver went into the side of the road there, hit some rocks, damaged the car a bit then. And then we see on the 101 freeway what looks to me like it could have been, might have been a collision here with the TMZ tour bus. And the passenger starts to throw something at the tour bus for getting in its way. Right there. Just amazing. So you've got at least two collisions with other vehicles, but this car has been going and going for over an hour and a half, mostly on 3 tires. Mostly also on the 101 freeway, now through surface streets, finally ending in the South LA area. We want to thank you for watching us simulcast on CBS 2 and KCAL 9. We're on top of this story. We're going to get more information for you and bring you the very latest coming up on KCAL 9 News at 4.
Well, tonight we are learning that the driver in yesterday's wild police chase was trained by the military.
Look at that. Whoa! Whoa!
KCAL 9 has confirmed that the man behind the wheel was trained as a tactical driver during his stint in the Marines. Now, the Corps says 20-year-old Herschel Reynolds was prematurely discharged last January because he didn't live up to Marine standards. Reynolds and a friend led police on that long and wild chase before pulling over finally in South LA.